don't know.
All right, we are live.
Tell Haley, he said congratulations. Looking perplexed.
Huh?
You look perplexed.
I'm reading this from
Ah,
afar.
okay. Gotcha.
Thank you for your help today. That was great.
That was great. Thank you. A lot of neat things today.
Right, I have 5:45. I will call the meeting to order. Madam Recorder, if you would call the roll. I'm sorry.
Okay. Chair Laura Harrison,
Present.
Vice Chair Jeremy Burnett, Keith Acton,
Present.
Michelle Childs,
Here.
Deborah Thomas.
Present.
We do have a quorum. Mr. Superintendent, would you lead us through our agenda?
Yes, the first item on the agenda is the opportunity for public comment.
Would anyone from the public like to speak? Hearing none, next item.
Next, the discussion items in this special called meeting. Number one is the approval of first addendum to memorandum of understanding between the City of Lakeland, Tennessee and Lakeland School System for use of video board located at Lakeland Preparatory School.
I'll make a motion to get this item on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Dr. Horrell.
Yes, the board has previously approved, as you know, an MOU between the City of Lakeland and the school system in which the city would provide us with $250,000 to install a video board at Lakeland Preparatory School at the football field. And that came with certain conditions. As I have worked to price the video board and try to acquire the video board with the design and the resolution and the size that I think both the school system and the City of Lakeland would be satisfied with, it turned out that we couldn't update the sound system, which had been in our initial scope per the original MOU, and get the size and the resolution that we wanted. I did note this when I submitted the model of the video board to the City of Lakeland, and to our delight, I'd say, or to their credit, they decided to go ahead and fund the sound system as well. So what this MOU does is it increases the amount that the city is funding from $250,000 to $320,000. So that includes the $70,000 to update the sound system. It also includes a clause where basically in return for the extra funds that they're providing, the student program, the audiovisual program at Lakeland Preparatory School has agreed to produce 2 videos per year for 5 years that the city would like to play on the video board to promote the city or city program. So we feel like that's a terrific deal. It gives a good experience to the students, gives some direction to that program, and gives them some real working projects that'll have a real legitimate audience here in Lakeland. And certainly I recommend approval of this updated MOU.
Any discussion? Ms. Childs.
I just wanted to say thank you to our mayor and our board of commissioners for this.
I think the entire board would echo those same sentiments to thank you for, they've just been tremendous partners in everything we do. So just again, they have come through and are tremendous partners in what we're trying to do and the vision that is Lakeland Prep. The other thing that I will say, I do love the addition of the work-based learning, because that's basically one of the new things we're rolling out this year with the 12th graders for those, that maybe didn't attend the other night or whatever. The work-based learning, this goes right in and ties right into our curriculum. So this is a great addition to this memorandum so that we can have some real-world application of it.
Yeah, and I will note, I think it's okay for me to note, the city was planning on paying to produce videos that would be shown on this screen anyway, and I think this will wind up offsetting the cost that they were planning to spend to have these videos professionally done. So at least to my understanding, it's a great deal for them and for taxpayers as well.
Any more discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item.
Next item is approval of FY 24-25 budget amendments.
I'll make a motion to get this item on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Dr. Horrell?
Basically, this is the corresponding budget amendment to the updated MOU. We didn't update the budget after the original MOU, but this would basically create the total budget amendment there to cover the transfers in from the city and then the transfer out to pay for the board.
Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item.
Next item is approval of Resolution 2025-0101 opposing the Education Freedom Act or similar voucher initiatives.
I'll make a motion to get this item on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Dr. Horrell?
I'll make one note. The actual resolution is titled the Education Freedom Act and Similar Voucher Initiatives. just because we wanted it to be more comprehensive and cover anything that might come up. This is nearly identical to a resolution that this board passed last year around the same time. And talking to Ms. Childs, our legislative liaison, she felt like, I think appropriately, that it was important to go ahead and have a fresh resolution as the special session today began discussing voucher initiatives. And I'd certainly yield to Ms. Childs if she had any additional information she'd like to add.
Yes, so I do have a few things. I did, because our last one did not sunset, I did already send it out to the legislatures in our district because I didn't want to, I wanted to make sure they got it before the special session began today. And since our meeting had to, due to illness, had to get changed. I do want to make a few comments about what's the special session that's starting today. The concerns I have, and part of the reason I just wanted us to reinforce our opposition to the voucher, scholarship, whatever, the current name of it is a special session got called instead of just addressing it where there's more transparency in the regular session. And it also got called before other educational needs have been heard, like our special education preschool. And so I do have concerns that the fiscal note on this is more than $1 billion over the first 4 years, and it will continue to increase every year because there's no cap on the amount of scholarships that can be given. So every year, if they're all spent, then the next year 5,000 more. If they're all used, then the next year there'll be another 5,000, and the following year another 5,000, and the following year another 5,000, which is like an extra at least 43 million every single year that gets added onto it. And so with a ballooning fiscal note like that, it makes me really nervous on what that looks like long term for public school funding, because we know that there's not an unlimited pot of money coming from the Tennessee taxpayers. The current ESA program actually had limits on it as far as like an income limit of $78,000. This one only has a tiny income limit that like goes away after 1 year. And that income limit is only for half of them, and it's $173,000, not $78,000. They will not have the same testing accountability, so you won't, as a parent, they won't know if they would have scored better on a similar type exam, unlike the ESA students. And there's not a requirement that they have previously attended private school. And because of that, the Tennessee fiscal note states that at least 65% will be current private school students. So it just doesn't make sense to me that to have a $7,000 off tuition, because that will not cover most private schools' tuition. So parents are still paying something before we take care of the special needs preschool students that are unfunded. And like last year in Arkansas, it was 82% of participants were current private school students. So, I think at our school, we just have some absolutely amazing teachers. I was there today touring the, our special needs preschool class, special education preschool class, and, just watching Miss Townsend, how she works with those kids. My son has a very energetic, amazing teacher, Mr. Sweeney, that makes my son want to keep taking STEM and majoring in it in college. But I don't know if most Tennesseans know that the state's minimum, fortunately we can pay more, but the state's minimum salary for teachers is $44,000. So if there is this pot of gold, apparently, that the Tennessee legislature has, I would ask that they increase teacher salaries if we have all this money to spend. And if we have any parents that are watching in the audience and they love their Lakeland teachers, I would encourage you to reach out to your legislature and oppose this bill and ask them to fund teacher pay more. So those are all my concerns, which is why I appreciate the board being willing to take up and consider this resolution again as the special extraordinary session begins.
Any more discussion on this item? I think it's appropriate to renew our opposition, and I appreciate you bringing this forward, just so we can have the newest, latest, and greatest, and make sure it's applicable to all things that may come up in the session. So I appreciate you making sure that we do have that. So, all in favor of opposing, or approving the resolution opposing the Education Freedom Act or any and similar voucher initiatives, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. And there is no further items on our special called meeting agenda, so can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We have a motion, I'll make a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. We are